northern Japan. I laid in the grass, staring up at brilliant blue sky. The waves were crashing on the shore. The sun glimmering through swaying branches of pine, and these little puffy clouds are passing by. My feet swollen, squeezed into my shoes. They're throbbing. My legs felt fractured. My muscles cramped. Dizzy, nauseous, more pain than I've ever been in. I am broken. I cried, and I was happy. This is the same beach that an airplane called the Miss Vidal took off from in 1931 for the first successful nonstop flight across the Pacific. It's the same place I took off from 31 hours earlier for a run, an adventure by foot of 100 miles. This is the start and finish of that run, but it's not the start of the story nor the end of the story. The story starts on 31 March 2007. I'm in jail, arrested for something I did while intoxicated. It's not my first time in jail, but this time my fiance is flying into New York from Thailand in 5 days, and I have no idea who will pick her up. I had once again built up a life only to tear it back down. I'm shaking, I'm empty, I'm terrified. There's a long road of misery to get here, and at this point, I'm drinking myself into oblivion every night and had been for the better part of a decade. As I sit in jail, my head in my hands, I can't imagine life with alcohol, and I can't imagine life without it. I'm at a jumping off point. I remember thinking, I can't wait to get out of this jail because I'm going to kill myself. I drove up a high-rise bridge after I was released, and I had my eye on the railing the whole way. I kept driving over the bridge and down the other side where I found a dirt road that led to a river. I got out there, and I had a very serious talk with myself on the side of that river. I made a commitment that day that no matter what happened, I was never going to drink again, no matter what. It was hard, but when I said the words, "help me," I found a community of people just like me. They loved me until I could learn to love myself. They gave me fellowship, a sense of belonging, connection that I had lost. They taught me rigorous authenticity. They taught me do the work and surrender the results. They showed me ways to heal the underlying conditions so that I never had to drink again. And more importantly, I never had to feel like I felt that morning on the side of that river. They showed me the light. They gave me a gift that I have to give away in order to keep. So 8 years after my day in court, it's a bright, sunny day just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. And I'm married to that girl that I had no idea how I was going to pick up in New York. And we have a beautiful little daughter. And they're there at the finish of my first trail marathon cheering me on. 6 months later in the hills of Malibu, they're at my first 50K race, my first 50 miler in the Grand Canyon, my first 100K race in Japan. And of course, they're there at my 12-hour run for 12 years of sobriety. A couple of years of training, and they're here today, once again, cheering me into a finish, my 100-miler. You see, along the way of staying sober and finding my true self, I went back to my youth where I remember bounding down the Adirondack Mountains of upstate New York. And now, in my 40s, I once again discovered the joy of mountain trail running. There's a great deal of peace and magic in the forest, and there's camaraderie with running partners that know and understand me like few do. Some people may ask, what are you running from? Or say, aren't you just trading one addiction for another? But what I hear most is, I don't even like to drive that far. The truth is, I don't like to drive that far either. But let's be clear, I'm not running from anything, perhaps running towards something, toward being a better father, a friend, student, husband, human being. I mean, couldn't we all use some of that? You see, through all the turmoil and the pain and struggle, I found some ways out of this thing, and I found some brilliance. I found through my empathy and my natural talents that I'm able to help people today. That is my why. I have dedicated my life work to illuminating pathways so that together we can journey from darkness to light.